Welcome to the Well-ish podcast, sponsored by Iowa Specialty Hospital, where real life meets better health. We're your hosts. I'm Derek.
I'm Anthony. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Well-ish podcast. I'm your host, Derek, and this is your other host,
Anthony.
Super excited to be back with you guys today. We are completely unsure what we're going to talk about today, so we're going to just wing this one, let it rip, as we've said, and see what comes of it. I think, sometimes when you come in with a topic, there's kind of some preconceived notions about where you want the podcast to start and end. And I think sometimes just having some of those natural conversations can be even more fulfilling and not as much kind of just checking a box. So I'm excited for this, whatever it ends up being.
I'm also excited for this, but I feel like if I was telling my wife that we're just gonna have a conversation to see where it goes, she would totally be like, I'm terrified as to where that's gonna go. She also talks about how I can just talk to a wall if I wanted to. So I think we can figure it out. Yeah, like you said, I don't have anything in particular that I want to talk about, but I feel like we can talk about a lot. One thing that came to mind is, just the busy season coming up. But one thing with like busy seasons is even though there's so much joy, there's always like other stuff going on that takes us away from enjoying that, if that makes sense, right? That could have been said clearer, but I think you see where I'm going with that. Where like we don't need to be so caught up in everything. And I feel like I actually say that phrase a lot in this podcast. Like we don't need to be XYZ.
Is it just not that serious?
Oh yeah, it's never that serious.
No, I think you're right. I think that, I mean, you only get one life, all of that, right? Which you do, and I think it's important that you go out and live that to the fullest and take advantage of it. But one thing that I feel like, for those who have participated in athletics, I think this is a really common thing for people to hear. And if you haven't heard it and you're in sports, here it is. Like, you want to never be too high and never be too low, right? It's just kind of about the next thing and enjoying the next thing and being present in that moment, right? Because if you're stuck on something that maybe didn't go well, like there's nothing you can do about that, right? And there's also at the same time, like, celebrate your wins 100%, but that win already happened, right? So now it's about being present in the next moment and kind of in life. And I think that that doesn't mean to say like don't enjoy the thing. There we go. Shout out Iowa Specialty. Like, don't enjoy the thing. Like, I'm not trying to say you should like, oh, the things you're doing that either succeed or fail, like they don't matter. They do. Yeah. But at the same time, like, that's not what your life is. Your life is the next thing. And I think, when it comes to, like you said, the busy season of life that's coming up, namely the holidays, right? A lot of things going on, and we'll talk about that. But I think football and sports and events that people are going to, right? That's one that I just was talking with someone the other day about this, and they were like, "What are some tips for making good choices at a football game?" And I was like, trying to understand the situation. Like, well, when you're tailgating, what does this look like? They're like, no. I mean, like, once I actually go into the game. I was like, well, once you actually go into the game, I was like, max, you're going to make one, maybe two food choices in there. So just enjoy it. Enjoy the game. If you want to get a drink, get a drink. Like, have a French fry, have a chicken strip. Like, you're going to be in there for 4 hours. It's not worrying about it. Enjoy that moment. Be present in it, right? And then go make a decision after that, right? Not about like, okay, did I own how? I think this comes back to the food journaling thing. I know I'm talking a lot, but like, if you are constantly grading yourself on the stuff that you're doing, right? Then you're never in the moment. You're only saying, what was I good or bad? Right? It's never just is,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Because thinking about the next decision, you're only thinking about whether or not you got the A, and it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
It goes back to that question, what is life? No, I think you made a lot of good points there. And a lot of times what you talked about there, one, we talk about quite a bit.
Hmm.
And two, I think it's probably talked about quite a bit outside of here in other podcasts or other like health professionals. And that point is that like you can go enjoy the things you want to enjoy. But what we don't really talk about enough is how do we build a good like framework or foundation, whatever word you want to use around that. So that way you can actually enjoy those, because it's one thing saying, yeah, go enjoy that hot dog or the piece of pizza and that, adult beverage or whatever that slushy you want
Yeah.
at the game. But we don't really teach them or like talk through the steps as to what does it look like to build up to that moment. And like, so that way you have the freedom and like the willingness to do that with no guilt, with no shame, with no grade for that matter, because it doesn't need to be graded. Right. For some people, maybe it does. I think it's another thing to talk about as well. Like, some people really like having those grades to it because they know that even though maybe that meal in the game was a D minus. I don't like giving things too many Fs, right? Say it's a D minus, but up until that point, they've been hitting B pluses, and on Sunday they have a solid like B plus to A. Well, great, but also maybe you just have a good consistent plan, or on game days you do this one thing for breakfast and you're gonna do this thing for dinner, so that way it opens up the ability and like again that opportunity for you not to worry about what you do during the game as much.
And I think that, I mean, that's the holidays too, right? I
Hmm.
mean, I think that um, so often the habits that get talked about in that time of in this time of year coming up,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm eating cookies and sweets and treats,
Hmm.
and it's like, okay, sure. What good things are we putting in our body?
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes it's just about intentionally putting some. I'll use myself as an example from Saturday. Okay, so we had people over for the day, just hanging out, watching football. We were chips and dip, things like made some sliders. Nothing that was inherently bad,
Hmm.
right? But I wasn't meeting my nutritional requirements for the day, and I didn't feel very good, right? And so it occurred to me as I was sitting there, and everyone had kind of left at night, and it was about dinner time. You know what? I'm gonna make myself a meal that I know makes me feel good. That for me, that was 3 eggs, a whole grain pancake, and some ham. Right? And I ate that, and I felt great.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know that's so good when I have those kinds of foods. And so my day, again, if we're assigning grades to things, probably more like a C, C minus wasn't
Sure.
great, but then I had something that was an A plus for me. Felt awesome. My had fiber in my pancake, protein in my egg, my pancake and ham. Like I felt really good about my meal, made me feel really good. And so it helped me kind of rebuild some of that scaffolding,
Yeah.
some of that structure to my day, and woke up the next morning, felt great, right? Like I think that's an important thing to note is like just because you might have some foods that maybe aren't as awesome and don't make you feel as good, taste good in the moment,
Hmm.
right? Doesn't mean your whole day's shot. That doesn't mean that you can't continue to work towards your goals that day,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. And, a couple of things. One, you said for me, I think that's super important to point out is
mhm,
like that meal that at the end of the day that you made that felt good for you
mhm,
or made you feel good is super important because I'm assuming that, that probably took some time to kind of know what that quick meal that you
yeah,
need that's going to make you feel good. Took some time to like figure out like, or to get to that point, right?
yeah,
To know what to choose during those moments. And also maybe it's all you had left in your fridge. I don't know. But the other thing there is, I think a lot of times, and I would probably fall in this category where like if I just kind of wasn't feeling good and ate like crap and, you know, all day, I'd probably just keep going for dinner too, you know?
Mm,
Knowing though that the next day that's when I'll pick it back up. Right. I might not be the one that's gonna say, I'm gonna finish the day strong. I'm gonna just finish the day where I'm at. Just something simple, something easy. Don't really care what it is. Just get through this today. Just get through today
mhm,
because I know tomorrow I'll wake up and that's where I'll have that meal that's gonna make me feel much better in the morning. I'll have a good lunch, and then I'll just, keep the momentum going from there.
mhm.
And that's probably different for a lot of people. But I would assume, and this is a huge assumption, that more often than not, it's easier to go that route and just finish a day that's not going well. But then I would also question, like, why, right? Are you doing that
Yeah,
because you'll pick it back up tomorrow, or are you doing that because of that guilt and that shame we're kind of talking about? And I really hope it's not that
yeah.
latter. Yeah.
Well, this was the first time I've ever done that.
Oh, really? Really?
It was the first time I've ever done that. And so, I mean, I was playing in a flag football tournament the next day. So I had a reason to want to feel a little better
Yeah.
before I went to bed. Right. And so I said, I'm like, I gotta feel better as soon as I can. Because I
Hmm.
didn't feel great. I'm like, I gotta
Hmm.
feel better sooner. That way I sleep a little better. And that way tomorrow's more fun.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's honestly eye opening to me
Yeah.
that was so, because I was like, okay, because number one, honestly, before Saturday night, I didn't know that I had a meal that I could trust and rely on like that until I started thinking about it, and my brain went eggs, pancake, and ham.
Mm.
So I whipped it up, made it,
Oh
felt
my God.
awesome. Like it settled my stomach. I I could feel my body going, thank you. Right? Like it
Yeah.
was like, and then I slept
The
great.
chips didn't do that.
But then I slept great and woke up and felt good on Sunday morning, ready
Yeah.
to go do my right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think it's one of those things. It's like, man, like also like I think about this. How often do people like go out and say you're having a good time, right? And then you come back and have a frozen pizza or mac and cheese or
Hmm.
a half of a bag of Doritos, right? And then you wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, I can't believe I don't feel. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you ate foods that you couldn't trust. Not that those foods are bad, but it's not foods that you can trust to make you feel better,
Yeah.
right? Not all the time. Some people they could,
Yeah.
some people they could, right? But for me personally, I know that if I did that, I would wake up feeling horrible. And so it's like now that I've experienced that once, I don't think I'll ever go back
Really?
because it took this thing where like because there will be days where I eat like that again,
Oh, for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
especially during fall
Yeah.
and especially during the holiday season
Oh, yeah.
where I won't eat very well. I'll wake
Mhm.
up and be donuts and I'll have donuts and coffee for breakfast and then
Mhm.
for lunch it'll be mac and cheese like that's it, right? And
Yeah.
then we'll get to dinner time and we'll be like, okay, finally a chance to, I can cook something for myself. And now I know, like, okay, if I can make a real meal right there, I will feel better and sleep better. And
Mhm.
now I will have a better day the next day,
Yeah.
right? Like, so I think that's something to think about.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot in there. And I wanna tear apart a lot of it, but I think where we should go next is talking about, like, those holiday meals.
Yeah.
Um, because I think that's super important. That's where a lot of stress comes, is, like,
Hmm.
I know I'm gonna be eating. So use Thanksgiving, for example, because that's the
Hmm.
closest one coming up besides Halloween. No shame
Sure.
on Halloween, right?
Yeah.
I love Halloween.
Candy.
Yeah.
We could talk about that at some
True. I
point.
mean, we'll go back to
We'll
talking
go
about
back
like
to it.
offices. Like, 'cause I think as adults, it's more so. It's less about well, your kids get candy
Your
and stuff.
kids will
There's
bring
stuff
candy home.
around. We'll talk about that, but I kind of want to start with like a meal at first, like approaching those plates and stuff
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everyone's has got to be a little bit different. Because I know on like my holiday meals, I generally usually the people I'm around don't eat breakfast and kind of then
Mm,
like start early around like 10 a.m. like grazing like a charcuterie or like snacky foods, and then maybe
yeah.
don't eat a real meal until like 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And there's so much about that routine that does not work for me. And it used to provide me stress.
Mm,
So like I have to know that okay, I get up and I make myself a little small breakfast, but it's a smaller breakfast than usual because I know that I just feel better when I get something in me. And then I'll graze with them when they start to graze. But by the time I get to that meal, I've been at least somewhat satisfied. And then I have a generally larger plate, but I don't build my plate much differently than I would any other time. Right. But that
mm,
took me years to kind of figure out.
yeah.
Cause like starting back in high school, I mean, I would start with 2 plates, and I would load it up with everything and I would just overeat and I'd feel terrible. And then eventually I would go down to 1 plate and I'd still overfill it. And I just found that like I needed to really kind of build out that day and figure out what works for
Yeah.
me. Because unless you're going somewhere new, and even when you are going somewhere new, you can still kind of prepare a little bit
Yeah.
as to how you're going to approach that. Right. And I think that's something that many people should think a little bit more about is like prepare for how you're going to go about that.
Sometimes all it takes is just a little conversation with yourself,
Mm.
right? Like kind of just speak it into existence. You like, is there's going to be using Thanksgiving for an example, right? There's usually at most gatherings more food than normal,
Oh, yeah.
right? I mean, food gets overmade on purpose. And, I think that's where you say, like, you just have a conversation with yourself, like, I'm going to have my fill
Hmm.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna trust what I know. I'm going to trust how I feel.
Yeah.
And
But so when we say that and talk about that,
yeah.
and if you've practiced this, knowing that going into it versus actually following through is a big challenge.
Hmm.
And I would argue because of that, like habitual stuff, like
Yeah.
using my example, like back in high school or like,
Sure.
when you're a growing young man and eating a lot and active,
Yeah.
right? Um, like there are times where like I mentally going into it, no, I'm going to stop or I'll be satisfied after one or one and a half dessert, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But gosh, when I'm sitting there and I'm already pretty full
Hmm.
and there's still a little bit of that dessert left, there's a piece that I haven't tried yet of
Yeah.
whatever side it is. Why don't I just have some more?
Mm.
So like that's where I think the challenge really lies.
Yeah.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong, preparing for it is super important.
Hmm.
And that's clearly kind of the message I gave when I talked that through.
Yeah.
But I want people to understand that it's still going to be a challenge executing it. Right.
Yeah. I think too, what a great opportunity to practice some of the, things that we talk about with our patients,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what do we talk about? We talk about getting enough protein in every meal.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. If there's turkey, or if your family does ham, I know some people we do turkey
For
in our family.
Thanksgiving?
Some people do. They're like, well, don't like turkey, so we do ham.
Huh.
Hey, your thing.
Interesting.
Um, but using turkey for the example, load it up with turkey, right? Build your plate. Think about my plate. Think about how we talk about these things, and say, okay, do I have enough protein on my plate?
Hmm.
Right. Okay, perfect. I got my turkey. Now, where am I going to get fiber from?
Hmm.
That's a challenging one.
Especially at Thanksgiving.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
tough. Did
Yeah.
somebody make green bean casserole? Did somebody make some corn? All right. It might not be the best in terms of fiber containing foods, but it's got more than your creamy mashed potatoes, right? So throw some of that stuff on there. Or if somebody's, if cousin, I don't know, call him cousin Jeff. Cousin Jeff said, "Hey, I'm bringing my this big salad to Thanksgiving this year," and everyone went, "Jeff, well, you know what? Jeff just looked out for you. Throw a little salad on there.
Hmm.
And you got some greens."
Do you have salad at your Thanksgiving?
Usually pops up.
I don't think we do. No, I think about that.
Somebody makes one.
Yeah.
Um, well, I think part of it is my grandma preps most of the food that comes to Thanksgiving. when we have when we're at when we're at my parents' house,
Mhm.
then she like drives all the food from their house because they make it ahead of time.
Yeah, and then just take
Her
it
and my
over.
grandpa, and they like drive it to our house.
Wow.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
So then there's just since they make try and make so much of it, there's time for other people
Yeah,
to eat things, and so salad you made.
nice.
Um, or crazy thought, if there's a bowl of fruit sitting over on the counter that wasn't for Thanksgiving, but you know what, it's still there. Grab a piece of fruit,
Yeah.
throw it on your plate, right? Where'd that apple come from? Oh, it was over on the counter. Thought I'd throw it on my plate. Just like that, you just added 4.5 grams of fiber to your meal, right? So I think just be conscious about building your plate. Put those things on your plate first that
Yeah.
we're gonna kind of lead the way well, and then throw some mashed potatoes on there. Throw a little gravy on there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some stuffing. Put perfect. Go for it. Enjoy it,
Mhm.
right? But now, because you've got the other stuff on your plate first, you can't have a heaping unless you're stacking your plate, which I've done at times,
Yeah,
right? Where
yeah, yeah.
it all tastes good together anyway, so just throw it on, right? And then grab one roll.
What? Now what? Is that something you actually do? Do you think about that when you're building that plate?
So the last year, yes,
Yeah.
yes, I hadn't before.
Mhm.
I hadn't before. I would say that like in my professional journey, like my own habits have been challenged
Mhm. Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's something I work on and work through every day.
Yeah. I think if I'm being honest, or I'm always trying to be honest here, but like what you just went through and described and like talked about is something that's similar to like what I would say for these holiday meals. When I think about myself, I usually and I really dislike the word cheat day or the two words cheat day. Um, but on like these holiday and I take my holidays pretty like I don't even do any physical activity on most holidays now. Um, so I don't overthink it too much about what I'm doing. Now I have thought about potentially like and I've done this in the past couple of years where I'll bring like supplements to like make that. So like if for instance that small breakfast that I have, I might actually throw in a little fiber supplement with some high fiber foods and then also a protein supplement and just make sure I, kind of start the day off with that and then not worry too much about it throughout the day because I want to enjoy the foods I want to enjoy.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I'm bringing this up one to let everyone know that I'm not the food police. And just because I'm a dietitian, I'm not perfect by any
Yeah.
means. But also, two, there's different ways to go about it. Right.
Hmm.
And I think that's always the key here is that like there's so many different ways to go about it. You have to find what works out best
Yeah.
for you. Because there's definitely other events and gatherings outside of the holidays where I do build my plate very particular, like, or very similar to what you just described.
Hmm.
Or, okay, where's my protein coming from? All right, what side options do I have? Oh, I
Hmm.
really like this, but I like this one more. So I'm just got to, you know, give that one up
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have one side so I can always have a dessert because I love dessert. Right. Um, so yeah, again, I kind of just bring up that situation because some days, maybe you can get away with just like supplementing and
Yeah.
that's the way you plan for it. And then others, maybe, you really practice about how you can build that plate better.
Yeah. And
So,
gosh, it just to me it always comes back to it's not about like avoiding that maybe don't make the quote unquote list, right?
mm,
It's just about how many good things you can put in your body,
hmm,
and then if it's a holiday meal, perfect, go enjoy it,
yeah,
right? Because put good things in your body already,
hmm,
right? You had a good breakfast, you were gonna have a dinner, right? If you're still hungry,
yeah, yeah,
right?
true.
I mean,
Yep.
maybe you're not gonna be hungry, and that's okay. And then you know what? If you're like, you know what, I know I'm something. All right, a piece of fruit in the evening, cool, right? Or another piece of pie because it's whatever, right? And because it's not something you do all the time. Want somebody, oh, this was really good. So, and it applies to so much more, right? Like we were talking. I was talking with a patient about the types of foods they were going to have at their Thanksgiving,
Okay.
and she just was like, "But you know what? Like, people have talked about trying to bring things and all this stuff," and she's like, "We have it once a year. Like, there's, there's nothing wrong with turkey, mashed potatoes, corn, green bean casserole. That like, it's one time,
Yeah.
right? That's yes, exactly. It's gonna be fine." And some things aren't fine one time, right? Food's not one of them. Food, you're gonna be fine. You can have something one time. If as long as it's real food, you can have something one time. You're not allergic to it,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Like,
interesting. I think that's a concern across other areas as well. And this might be going, I don't know if you're really going on this road, but
sure.
like traditions, so many people just want that new thing or to try
Mhm.
different things or like
Mhm.
to do all these different things. And like we're losing like
Yeah.
tradition,
Yeah.
right? And not to say that like, who knows what they actually ate back when they had their first Thanksgiving or whatever the case is. But
Yeah.
the point is that
400
like
years ago.
your grandparents have been doing this for however many years, your parents have been
Yeah.
doing this for however many years. And if you really need to spice it up at Thanksgiving because like of what maybe you saw on social media or just feel like, you don't want to have that one meal once a year. Um, I don't really know where I'm gonna go with that how to end that statement. But the point is that like a lot of times, yeah, you are right. People just get so caught up about what they're gonna
Yeah.
have and how they want to like change it, and like why do we all have to be changing things all the time? I think that's where a lot of stress comes, in particular to eating,
Mhm.
because one, we eat, multiple times a day, we need to, and two, everyone thinks they need to be trying something new that they've seen, or um, or mix it up so that way they have variety and all these
Yeah.
things, which is fine to have variety. It's fine to try new foods, try new cuisines, but you don't need to change it all the time.
Mhm.
And I don't have the golden answer for that, but I do think that there is a problem there in that constant worry or feeling that you could be trying something new, or you could be trying something different, or
Or that you're doing it wrong,
that too.
right?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand. You're doing fine,
Hmm.
right? That's the key here, is you're doing fine. Like, if you have specific goals in mind, be it training for an event, be it weight loss, whatever it might be.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe some tweaks need to happen, and on so that way you're kind of doing things more on purpose.
Hmm.
But like, if you are someone who, like, if you're fairly healthy and you're able to do the things you want to do, you're doing fine. Nothing to stress about with your food. I think and you're so right, right? Like, enjoy your traditions. I think it ties back to social media a little bit. Different things everybody
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and everybody on social media is so happy, right? Like, oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Uh, and it makes you feel like, oh, if only we did that. If only we did that, we would be that happy too.
Hmm.
Are you happy right now? Take a look at yourself. Are like, does eating turkey and mashed potatoes with your family watching football make you happy? Yes, you're nailing it.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to bring Rachel back on for that conversation. That's
Right?
super
Oh gosh,
important.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part too, incoming hopefully
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. No, but it's a good point. Like, 'cause yeah, as far as what the psychology says and how to like go about that, is that one meal or that one change really gonna,
Yeah. Yep.
satisfy you or make you content or feel more content? Um, I'm actually reading The Notebook right now. It's my wife's favorite. It's
Oh,
like
like Nicholas Sparks,
yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
Notebook?
yeah.
All
It's
right.
my
All
wife's
right.
favorite book. So she doesn't
Yes.
know I'm reading this. I
Oh,
told her I was going to, but I never told her I started it.
okay.
So, and I'm actually really enjoying it so far. But anyway,
I'll tell you right now, yeah, I enjoy that movie quite a bit.
I love the movie. Yeah.
Great movie.
uh, anyway, reading the book and it talked about oh Lon, who was Allie's fiance at the
Hmm.
time,
Betrothed.
was about to like they were about to split, And as Allie was walking out, he was recalling this memory, and she basically just goes like, you know, you do need to realize that it's not these girls or your work or that you're too busy or all these other things that are keeping you from obtaining whatever you want. Just because your dad started this like um, great business and you have his name and you're trying to follow up and be better than him doesn't like get by the fact that you don't like yourself.
Mm.
And I reread that paragraph. It's like a solid paragraph. She really went at him. I reread that paragraph like 3 or 4 times at least. Yeah. And I'm like, that's such an important
Mhm.
message, you
Mhm.
know? Like all these things and like being so busy and like you can hear it from everyone. Everyone talks about being busy. I mean, half the time someone asks me how I'm doing, or like what I've been up to, I always talk about, oh, just being just busy. Right.
Mhm.
Like, but it still doesn't go away from the fact that at the end of the day, you still have to
Yeah.
enjoy what you do and who you are.
Yeah.
And this is getting way deeper than I wanted to, but
I get what
the
you're
point
saying.
is that yeah, like is that really gonna, like you mentioned, satisfy you or make you happy?
Yeah. I mean, like, just take a breath, give yourself a high five, and
Yeah.
just you're here. I think
Yeah.
like how cool.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I think there's this, and I've been thinking about high fives over here. Uh,
Mm.
Hugs and high five. I don't know what I've been thinking about while
Yeah.
you've been
Yeah.
talking about. And I think the self five, I think
Mel
is
Robbins.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, what's a self five? Keep going. Go,
Well,
go.
no, self five, like you giving yourself a high
Yeah. Yeah.
five.
Yeah. Mel Robbins.
Is that their?
So Mel Robbins talks about, she wrote a book.
I
I
know who
can't
Mel
remember the name of the
Robbins
book.
is. I hope just so everyone knows. I know who
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
about self five thing.
And her big thing was just she started high fiving herself in the mirror.
I love that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, keep going.
Gosh, I think if there's anything, man, physical action and verbalizing things, writing things down, like taking them from here and putting them out,
Absolutely, man.
so powerful.
Yeah. That's why I think journaling's so incredible. Like, because one, we can think about it all
Mm-hmm.
day, but until you like actually think about it and use the physical motion,
Mm-hmm.
that's another reason why I can't, pretty sure I probably brought this up, but physical therapy, I'm so amazed by individuals in physical therapy because they talk you through what you're doing, but also you're doing a physical movement.
Yeah.
So it's using two different systems,
Yeah.
similar to the EMDR that Rachel
Yeah.
talked about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that ingrains it into you more, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't mean to intrude.
No,
Sorry.
you're good. You're good. But like so the like I just feel like kind of congratulating yourself on a job well done,
Yeah.
challenging yourself, and then when you overcome an obstacle, boom,
Hmm.
self five, right? I think we have this society and people and anybody, right? Gosh, we're so focused on like this external like like verification almost. Like, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Like other people pumping us up. It's like, man, pump yourself up. Give yourself a high five and say, okay, let's go rock this. This is going to be awesome. And now, I mean, I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but
That's all right.
I've been thinking about too, and this is something I've been thinking about. So obviously, you and I both enjoy reading like books about leadership or just
Hmm.
excellence or things like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just thinking about like what those practically do for us in our lives, right? Because I think they're awesome. I think those books are so cool,
Hmm.
and they help you see things from a different perspective, which I think is just so important.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it, and like, you can't actually do anything with those. With the stuff that they give you in those books, you can't actually do anything with it.
Hmm.
There's nothing to do, right? There's no action. You can think about it, but really, it's schema. It's back pocket knowledge that they're giving you. They're building a platform. They're helping you build a platform to stand on for whatever it is you do, right? And so I think that's where, um, like right now, and it's always been this way. Honestly, it's really impressive to watch someone go do something when they go out and they build it, they achieve it,
Hmm.
they set a goal, they make it happen,
Yeah.
right? And we celebrate that. We really do. But how many of us like don't even try to do something, right? Because we're in this in between of like I know how I want to be. I know kind of who I want to be, but I don't know what it is that I need to do to get there. Right? Oftentimes to me that what is just like what are you excited about? You know, what's the thing that you're pumped about? Like talking about the book I was talking about last time I was here, the hidden potential. Um it it talks about like how to study. It talks about like how teaching something is
Oh
a
yeah.
really great way to learn the
Learn.
topic, right? Like
Yeah.
what are you teaching, right? Like obviously we have opportunities to teach
Hmm.
all the time.
Hmm.
As I've said, I'm on my own like nutrition habit, exercise habit journey.
For sure.
And a huge part of that is because I get to teach people every day about those topics. And so like I think that it's like finding that thing that you're excited about and just go see what happens. Read as many of those books as you can that teach you about that stuff, about leadership, about learning, about confidence, and then just use that as background knowledge, back pocket knowledge to go build your business, your own book, to parent your children,
Yeah.
to make your food choices, right? Like, how am I being a leader? How am I? And I think it's just like there's this thing where people are like we said already, like we're not excited about our own stuff often enough, and it comes back to not being excited about your own self often enough,
Mhm.
right? You're the main course. Give yourself a self-five. Enjoy the football game, right? Like eat the food that you're excited about, but then also remember, hey, I got goals, so I got to make sure I get my fruit, I get my protein, I get all that stuff, right? Because it's important.
Yeah.
Because I need to feel good. Because I'm the main character.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, that's so powerful. But not getting overwhelmed by all that too. I think the one thing that comes to mind is it takes time
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of time. All this stuff takes time, right? And you read all these books, let's say, and you have that inspiration that you need, but you can't just use inspiration to get you through the hard times. You have to, like you said, put something into action, and it all comes down to putting something small into action and sticking to it. But you don't have to do the exact same thing. I think that's the key there too. You can manipulate it a little bit to continue to have it fit your lifestyle, your season of life you're going through,
Mm-hmm.
but really like reshape it as you're progressing. And then once you get comfortable with it, then you can add that next step. It's all steps, right? Um, and something I'm currently struggling with is that like I'm really good about buying in and doing the small things and adding these little things and
Mm-hmm.
putting a lot into action more
Yeah.
recently than I had been in the past. However, I still get caught up in when's it going to work out for me,
Mm.
or like I want it sooner than it's happening type of
Yeah.
thing, right? Um, so I guess I shouldn't say I'm really good at it, but I'm really good at implementing it and getting started and taking the action.
Yeah.
And it still is a challenge to understand that, I'm not sure, or I'm definitely not in control as to like if that will come to fruition as to what I'm working towards,
Yeah.
but I'm working towards, that next goal, or like growing as an individual. Yeah, there's that. I do have a question for you though. When was the
Yeah.
last time that you've like felt good about something that you did,
Mm.
and acknowledged yourself for it, or like noticed it? I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I mean, I think I think honestly it's I feel like the kind of the role that I feel like I played in with the scheduling around here is a big thing because I feel like it was something that not only helped me but also helped other people too.
Mm,
And I feel like improved quality of life for lots of people. So I think that's kind of the thing that most recently I feel proud of.
nice.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Did you give yourself a high five, or you just learned that
No,
practice?
I gave myself a high five
Yeah,
for that one. Yeah, I felt pretty
good.
good about that.
Now, do you do that only in big moments, or do you do it in small moments too?
I definitely don't do it enough in small moments. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of it with and we this is boom, perfect. We did it. Full circle. So we talked about at the beginning of this podcast being present,
Mm,
right? And celebrating, commiserating losses, but then moving on from them so you can be present in the next moment.
yeah.
I think in order to be able to celebrate the small moments, you've got to be present. And I think that's something sometimes that I struggle with is being here,
Mm,
not metaphorically
yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, because I'm either dwelling past success or loss, thinking about a future success or loss or whatever. And so being in that moment in the small times is challenging.
Yeah.
And so, no, I don't think I celebrate my small wins enough because sometimes I think I miss them.
Interesting.
So I think to me, I think that's I think that's it, right? Like you're trying to make really good choices for yourself when it comes to food, but also at the same time, socially enjoying around, building strong relationships. It all feels like so much.
Yeah.
But if you're in the moment, it's a whole lot easier,
Yeah.
right? Because all you have to do in that moment is choose a little more protein and give somebody a high five or a hug. Stronger relationships, stronger body, just like that. Because you're in the moment. If you think about it all at once, man, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Moment, it's a lot.
Yeah, and you can't do it all by yourself. I think that's a big
No.
thing that you kind of touched on there is having those relationships require having. I mean, it's one relationship with yourself, but two relationships with others as
Mm-hmm.
well. Whether that's
Mm-hmm.
relationship or plural, like
Mm-hmm.
multiple,
Yeah.
like still having that strong connection is super important in all of this. You know, whether it's one person you fall on for everything or a couple individuals for different areas of your life, like having that system, support system, mentorship, whatever it is, different ages too. Doesn't have to be someone that's going through the same thing as you. Maybe it's someone that either
Yeah.
went through it or went through a different situation, but
Yeah.
has the listening ear and the wisdom to help you work through whatever it is. So
Absolutely.
yeah, well, this was a wild episode.
It was. It went all over the place a little bit, but you know what? I feel like it did kind of it was what I think maybe both of us needed.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
But at the same time, hopefully the people can glean a little something from it too, right? And
yeah.
man, at the end of the day, just
Well, I think one thing, something we can end on,
yeah,
is we're starting to find our groove in
yeah.
this podcast situation, even though we keep changing up the setup. We're figuring that part out yet, or still. Um, like we have a couple interviews we feel really good about that are
Mm-hmm.
going up now. They're going to be
Mm-hmm.
going up in the next couple weeks, and we have a couple really cool interviews scheduled
Yeah.
that will be coming soon. Um, and as we continue to have these conversations that maybe don't have a great outline, eventually they'll continue to guide us
Mm-hmm.
to having maybe a more formal or at least like we don't have to come with notes, but like a good path
Yeah.
through the conversation. But my whole point is it's everything that we talked about, and that's the reason I bring it up is we're just starting to feel like we're in a good groove here. At least I am. I'm not. I don't mean to speak for you, but the point is it's been a few months at this point
Mm-hmm.
of working through kinks, of having some setbacks, of
Yeah.
getting extremely frustrated with it. But now the next step for me, and I think now I got to vocalize this, is getting this really pushed out there to the world.
Yeah.
And that's something that scares me. That part scares me. I love doing stuff in the dark, but actually like having people now like me tell them that it's in the dark and go look at it, that's what worries me. If
Yeah.
they found it, that's okay.
Putting yourself on stage is a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. So all that being said, I'm super excited about
Yeah.
what's coming out, what's about to come out, and hopefully people start enjoying
Yeah.
the content
Absolutely.
that we have.
So find us on social media, the Well-ish podcast.
Yeah.
Is it capital W well underscore capital ISH podcast? I think so.
On Instagram,
Yeah.
it's well underscore ish pod.
Pod. Okay.
Yep.
So find us there, interact with us a little bit, and then we're going to be a little more um well, not advertising. We're going to push out a little more so
Market.
people can here we go. Market a little bit more so you can find us, and so interact with us if you have things that you are curious about, want us to talk about from a food and nutrition perspective. Please send us those topics. But otherwise, good work, man.
Yeah,
Good
thanks.
stuff.
Good work for you too. And be you.
I love it.
It's better than peace.